2019 marked the fourth season of the Michelin Le Mans Cup, a Pro-Am championship featuring LMP3 and GT3 cars. The action took place over 6 rounds across Europe, among them the prestigious Road to Le Mans, the curtain raiser to the 24 hours. And it all started in April at the Circuit Paul Ricard at Le Castellet in the south of France, with 31 cars on the grid.
We have started the Michelin Le Mans Cup of Le Castellet.
Pacing the field at the start of the first race, Francois Kierman for DKR Engineering, the orange and black machine on pole position. DKR, having won the previous season's championship, look to carry on their success. Lusic Racing on pole in GT3, a brand new outfit though. The Swiss team with Fabien Laverne at the wheel for the first stint of the season. Battle for third place, Eric Thuillier in the number 9 Graf machine, chasing Lannon Racing's Michael Benham and diving through on the inside. Easing Benham out wide allowed the English driver to keep his foot on the gas. Momentum went the way of the number 25 car. He crept back alongside, but a little rub heading into the braking area. The Graf Racing car dominating the run into the first chicane and hanging on to third place.
Safety car deployed.
A safety car right before the halfway mark triggered a slew of pit stops, including the leaders in LMP3 and GT3. Battle for the lead resuming, but with 2 Graf Racing cars. Nicolas Schatz versus teammate Adrien Thuillier. Thuillier going around the outside, Graf out braking himself. Running wide, Laurence Herr in the number 3 DKR car, moving up to second. Right with them in the red and white Lannon Racing car, Duncan Tappy, their second driver. And he wasted no time at all in setting about taking third place from Nicolas Schatz in the red, white and blue Graf car. Outside, inside at the chicane, a nice move from the British driver. There'd been changes at the head of GT3 as well. Giacomo Piccini in number 8 car leading for Kessel Racing, while Lusic's second driver, Michael Mack, was right behind him and pressing hard. Into the closing stages, and there was trouble in store for DKR.
Car 3, drive-through penalty for overtaking and keeping his position with his direct competitor beyond the track limits.
The DKR car's hopes of victory had vanished, and on the final lap, trying to grab a podium spot, just trying a little too hard. Contact with Adrien Thuillier in the Graf car. That's not a way to make friends early in the season. A way to make maximum points though, Lannon Racing heading towards the checkered flag. Michael Benham started the job, Duncan Tappy finished it. Race 1 and victory number 1 of the season for the British crew. Victory in GT3 went to the reigning champions, Kessel Racing's number 8 crew, as Giacomo Piccini took the flag, sharing the drive with Sergio Pianazzola. Post-race, both Graf Racing cars were giving a 35-second time penalty for full course yellow procedures, moving DKR to second and the number 2 Nielsen Racing car up to third.
There was never a dull moment really until the full course yellow at the end, where just finding out information, seeing who was where and just trying to keep it all together to bring it home. But what a job for this man, eh?
Lannon Racing's campaign had got off to a fabulous start. Duncan Tappy and Michael Benham marking themselves out as title hopefuls.
Sergio did a great stint. You know, he was really close to the first position, and then luckily we managed to overtake them in the pit stop. A bit of luck, of course, but a great team job as usual.
The champions started their defence with victory ahead of the SPS Mercedes, pole sitters Lusic grabbing third in their first Michelin Le Mans Cup race. Italy's Cathedral of Speed was the venue for round 2. The red and grey Ligier of Kia Racing's Michael Markussen started on pole in Monza with Tony Wells in the white and blue Nielsen car alongside. But Wells would lose out in the tight first corner, down the inside the number 3 DKR car of Francois Kierman. GT3 pole had gone to Kessel Racing's number 8 car. Heading towards the midway mark and into the pit stops, and Kia Racing still had a slender advantage over DKR. Mid-race pit stops underway. This is Lusic, and DKR are in, so too are Kia. The battle on the racetrack becomes a battle in the pit lane. Keogh still held the lead, but under pressure from Nielsen, this time with Colin Noble at the wheel of the number 2 car and diving inside for the lead. Classified third in France, Nielsen were looking to win. The team should have been jubilant, but all eyes were looking to the heavens. Would it rain? Would they need the wet weather tyres? The sky looked threatening.
Information to the pit lane, the track is being declared wet. The track is being declared wet.
A deluge forced teams into the pit lane for a tyre change. Duncan Tappy, coming in from second place, would leave the pits as the new race leader and manage to hang on. Michelin leading in GT3 for Lusic through the torrential rain. And Duncan Tappy, for the second race in a row, taking the Lannon car to the checkered flag to claim victory. And Dane Michelmack appeared first through the gloom to claim GT3 honours for Lusic Racing. Lannon, DKR and Nielsen, the LMP3 podium, 10th overall for the Lusic Racing Ferrari that won GT3 ahead of Kessel and Spirit of Race's Ferraris.
Another eventful race. Could have done, I mean, like the forecast has been terrible for today all week, hasn't it? And then when it was kind of just brightening up just before we were going out, like, okay, well, maybe we're going to get away with it. But to have this, you know, within, what, 15 minutes towards the end of the race, it just throws a bit of a spanner in it. At the time, it looked like we were going to be second behind the Nielsen boys. They've been quick all weekend. They've done a magic job this weekend.
Time lost in the pits, though, meant that Nielsen get a second podium, but in third, DKR's number 3 car does hold on to their podium in second. But it's 2 races and 2 wins now for Lannon Racing.
Luckily for me, Fabian made a very good start and just made a very good gap for me. I jumped in the car and in the drive we controlled the race, but then yeah, the weather changed. So it was really, really interesting, let me say it like that.
In a Ferrari clean sweep, Lusic headed last time's winners Kessel Racing, and it was a first podium for Christoph Ulrich and Maurizio Mediani in Spirit of Race. Road to Le Mans is the most prestigious event of the season in mid-June, and with the addition of crews from the European and Asian Le Mans series, there was a packed grid of 49 cars. Beach Scene's Aston Martin was on the GT3 pole, but it was Francois Kearman for DKR who led the field away. Jan Erlaché starting strongly for M Racing, passing at Michael Benham in the Lannon Racing car before the first corner, and then diving through under braking to take the lead of the race. Erlaché streaked away, leaving DKR in second, Lannon Racing the points leaders in third. There was drama for Adrien Thuillier, a huge crash and debris everywhere. The safety car was scrambled. The pit window was open, so everybody dived in for their mandatory stops. Green again, Duncan Tappy in Lannon Racing grabbing the lead from the M Racing machine, looking for win number 3. Battle for second down to Indianapolis, and Nicolas Schatz moves up in the Graf Racing car. But tough break for the race leader. Duncan Tappy has a drive-through penalty for an unsafe release with only 10 minutes remaining in the race, handing the lead to Graf Racing's Nicolas Schatz. And it was a lead the Graf crew did not squander. Victory for the number 39 car in the first race at Le Mans, Nicolas Schatz and Adrian Schieler. Winners in GT3 for the second time in a row, Michelmack and Fabien Laverne for Lusic Racing. Behind the winners, the number 5 DKR car claims its first podium. Nielsen again in third, Lusic Racing winning 9th overall ahead of SPS and the 51 Spirit of Race Ferrari. So for the first time, new winners in LMP3, Graf Racing's Nicolas Schatz and Adrian Schieler.
J'ai pris énormément de plaisir.
Loved it. 13 spectacular kilometres every lap. We prepared, team worked hard, and finally we've done it on a fantastic, legendary track. Amazing.
Donc c'est génial.
SPS Automotive's Valentin Pierberg and Tom Onslow Cole claimed their first podium behind our winners from Lusic Racing.
It's amazing to win in Le Mans. For me, it's a dream come true. And yeah, I think I made a good start, and Mikel did amazing in the end. So yeah, so happy. I think I'm gonna remember this one for a long time.
Michael Benham from Lannon Racing started the second race at Le Mans on pole position with Francois Kierman alongside in number 3 DKR car. In the battle for third, Marcello Marattiotto shoved Freddie Hunt, son of 76 world champion James Hunt, off into the gravel, and there were cars everywhere. Mercifully, there was no major damage and no injuries whatsoever. Marattiotto briefly held the lead as Lannon and DKR battle behind. The number 3 car diving through for second and then around the outside to take the lead. But under pressure from the CD Sport number 30 car, Francois Kierman found himself in trouble. Pushed back down to second, and the 25 Lannon Racing car was right there as well. Then high drama. Both the second and third place cars off on the grass, bouncing off the barriers. Incredibly, they carried on racing as if nothing had happened. Mid-race pit stops, Francois Kierman handing over number 3 to Lawrence Hoare. Hoare engaged Duncan Tappy in the Lannon car. The battle for second again featuring our championship front runners. Number 3 squeezing in front. And when CD Sport picked up a penalty, victory beckoned. The number 3 DKR engineering car claimed victory at Le Mans, the Saturday of the 24-hour race. The first win of the season for the defending champion car. Victory in GT3 went to Lusic Racing. Their third win in a row, their second at Le Mans. Mikkel Mack taking the Ferrari to the checkered flag. A first win then for the number 3 DKR car ahead of Lannon and Race 1 winners, the 39 Graf car. Lusic Racing claimed their third win of the season ahead of Beechdean's Aston and the SPS Mercedes.
The car was perfect, the stint was perfect. We are so happy to win at Le Mans. It's the first win of the season, so it's just amazing to win there in Le Mans.
Graf, Lannon and DKR, the top 3 in race 2.
Amazing. It has been a fantastic weekend for us. Thursday we got the win. Today we got the win again. It was very close in the end. I'm really happy, and for the championship it's perfect. Maybe we will see each other down here for the 24 hours next year.
Behind the Ferrari, Andrew Howard and Ross Gunn for Beechdean AMR, and Valentin Pierberg and Tom Onslow Cole again on the podium. The second half of the season started in July in Barcelona. In GT3 it was the first Mercedes pole, earned by Krypton Motorsport, but heading the field away was the Ligier number 39 of Graf Racing. Alongside the number 3 DKR car, Tony Wells for Nielsen looking down the inside, but look at the black car of Alexander Talkanitsa Jr., the AT Racing machine picking up 3 places, going from 6th to 3rd in the run down to the first couple of turns. But Sheila led from Kierman as the battles raged behind. Lusic Racing's Fabien Laverne was in 4th and then grabbed 3rd from Spirita Race's Christoph Ulrich. High-speed lose for James Dayson, a wheel on the dirt, and the tail broke away, putting the RLR M Sport car firmly into the gravel.
Full course yellow, full course yellow.
Under a full course yellow, everybody must do 80 kilometres an hour to allow the crews to rescue stranded vehicles.
Track is back to green, track is back to green.
And a quick reaction to the green from Sergio Pianazzola in the 8th Kessel Racing Ferrari, diving by the Ebi Motors Porsche of Alessandro Baccani to take the GT3 lead. Nicolas Schatz takes over the Graf Racing 39 car, but there's trouble in store. He'll have to serve a penalty for this. Adrian Schiele clattering the 51 Spirit of Race Ferrari. Thanks to Graf's drive-through penalty, DKR's Lawrence Herr, taking over for the second part of the race, finds himself as the new leader. Three-way battle for second in GT3. Roberto Pampanini in the chrome, gold and black Mercedes, being passed by Mikkel Mack for Lucic Racing. Ricardo Pera right there in the Ebby Motors Porsche 2. Last corner in Barcelona for Lawrence Herr and DKR, their second win in a row after claiming Saturday's victory at Le Mans. In GT3, Lucic Racing's run of success is halted at 3 wins. The number 8 Kessel Racing Ferrari is back on top. Giacomo Piccini heading to the checkered flag to grab a second win of the season for the team. A fourth and best podium of the season so far for Nielsen, while United Autosports claim their first with the number 24 car of Mike Gouache and Wayne Boyd. The GT3 winners, Kessel Racing, came home 12th overall, Ebby Motors second in the Porsche, with the Lucic Racing Ferrari on the podium again in third.
It was a very good race. It's very hot in Barcelona, so we had long stint, but the car was just perfect. The car prepared it perfectly, and it was the same for Lawrence. He did an absolute job. So we are thinking about Mike, and we hope to fight back really soon with him.
The DKR duo claimed their second win. For Nielsen, Tony Wells and Colin Noble one step closer to the top. But Mike Gouache and Wayne Boyd need a little more practice in opening the champagne bottles.
That's very happy, to be honest. Yesterday I was not that happy because I didn't drive that well, but Giacomo, as usual, gave me the right advices. I tried to apply what he suggested me.
Between the Ferraris, the only Porsche podium of the season so far in the 88 Ebby Motors car, Ricardo Pera and Alessandro Baccani. Round 5 in September and another legendary circuit, the awesome Spa-Francorchamps. With Lucic, Fabien Laverne and the Ferrari on pole in GT3, it was the number 3 Norma of DKR and Francois Kierman pacing the field ahead of Eric Thuillier in the number 9 Graf car. Down to the hairpin, Graf Racing battled for second, the number 3 DKR car out front. And good news, the return to form of the Lannon Racing car, but there's trouble at the hairpin. Trouble too for Fabien Laverne, the Lucic Racing Ferrari pitting early with a puncture. At the front of the field, the 39 Graf Racing entry under pressure from Lannon's Michael Benham, who spins under braking. Now the battle for 6th place, Benham again, piling the pressure on the number 5 machine, but a second spin. More successful putting the pass in on United Autosports' Rob Hodes up the Kemmel Straight, moving back up to 9th place, the Lannon Racing number 25. But Benham again making an error, this time out of the bus stop. Benham has definitely lost his rhythm, overdriving the car almost everywhere. And that shows again up to the braking area at the bus stop. This time he's fortunate to avoid contact with another car. Close to the halfway mark, everybody dives into the pits. Everyone, that is, apart from Graf Racing's number 9 car driven by Eric Thuillier. Thuillier therefore becomes the race leader. But will the strategy work for them? Leading GT3, the number 8 Kessel Racing Ferrari, narrowly ahead of the Beechdean Aston Martin that had claimed its first podium at Road to Le Mans and was looking for a win. Into the closing stages, the battle for second. Lawrence Herr for DKR running out hugely wide as he chases down Colin Noble in the number 2 Nielsen car. Nielsen will again be on the podium, but again not on the top step. That will go to the number 39 Graf car as Nicola Schatz takes the win for the second time this season at the Checker. In GT3, it'll be a third win of the season for the number 8 Kessel Ferrari as Giacomo Puccini just holds off Beech Dean Aston Martin's Ross Gunn. Graf, Nielsen and DKR are on the podium, and despite all the overdriving, Lannon Racing end up in 4th. First GT3 car home, the number 8 Kessel Racing Ferrari 13th, narrowly ahead of the Beech Dean Aston Martin. But post-race there was huge drama. The podium finishers in LMP3 all excluded for non-compliance of parts. Lannon Racing were handed the victory. No such dramas, however, in GT3.
Normally, my teammate does the biggest part of the job and give me the car with a lot of advantage, but due to the penalization and the safety car, the race was tough. The Aston had an amazing pace, Gunn was really pushing, but I managed to be concentrate. Probably the best win we've had this year.
Spirit of Race's Ferrari finished in 3rd, Beech Dean Aston 2nd, and Kessel Racing again on top of the pile. The season finale at Portimao in Portugal, and a roller coaster of emotions guaranteed. For the first time, both LMP3 and GT3 crowns will be decided in the final race of the championship. Lucic Racing with the GT3 pole. Pole sitter though is the number 3 DKR Norma with the Lannon Racing 25 car alongside. Number 25 under pressure into the first corner but holds on in 2nd place. DKR Francois Kierman leads from Michael Benham. A clean start at the front of the field in LMP3, but not in GT3. High drama for Lucic Racing. The pole sitter Fabien Laverne with contact and a puncture. Trouble further back as well. Tony Wells getting clattered by Wolfgang Triller in the number 5 DKR car. Rob Weldon for RLR M Sports. Battling for the lead of the race, chasing down Francois Kierman, who spins on the exit. Is the pressure starting to tell? Pit stop time, in comes Lannon Racing, and right in front DKR. The contenders pit together. Giacomo Puccini into the number 8 Kessel Racing Ferrari. Sergio Pianazzola's done his bit. Now all he can do is hope and wait. Battle for 2nd place in LMP3. Lawrence Herr down the inside. Clatters Duncan Tappy in the Lannon car. The title contenders make contact. Lannon Racing team not happy with that. Tappy into the back of the DKR car under braking and off into the gravel. Disaster for Lannon Racing. Duncan Tappy makes it out of the pits. A smoking tail end on the number 3 DKR car. He comes in for a check over. A new nose for Duncan Tappy. Meanwhile, in GT3, battle for 2nd place. Ross Gunn for Beech Dean, passing Yannick Mettler. Final corner, Alex Capadio takes the first win of the year for RLR M Sport. And DKR take 3rd place after a penalty for Lannon Racing. The Luxembourg team clinches its 3rd successive title, and this year's drivers celebrating their first crown with the squad. Victory for Rob Weldon and Alex Capadia. Yet another podium for Tony Wells and Colin Noble at Nielsen. But with 3rd place, Lawrence Hoare and Francois Kierman claim the title in the number 3 DKR car, ahead of Lannon and Nielsen. Kessel triumph their 3rd win in a row and their 2nd consecutive Michelin Le Mans Cup title. Sergio Pianazzola and Giacomo Puccini, the champions, and the winners ahead of Andrew Howard, Ross Gunn, with Dexter Muller and Yannick Mettler for SPS third on the podium. Beach Team third in the championship behind Lucic, but Kessel tie up a second successive title. The champions crowned in the glittering post-race ceremonies in Portimao's Congress Centre. Alan McNish, the three-time Le Mans 24-hour race winner, handing out the trophies.
The energy, the passion was absolutely incredible in those images.
It was a really hard race.
What an amazing evening to finish an incredible action-packed season of racing. Join us in April from Barcelona when we'll be back to do it all over again for the 2020 Michelin Le Mans Cup.